Well, the race for the 52nd Congressional District is turning out to be quite the fight. Because of redistricting, Congressman Brian Bilbray has lost his Republican advantage.
Former Councilman Scott Peters is running against Bilbray in a hard-fought contest. He joins us tonight. Thanks for being with us at this late hour. I know you've got a busy schedule and a busy rise in the morning.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Thank you.
In the past, you've indicated you favor cuts in Social Security and Medicare. What do you have in mind there? How deep would those cuts go for seniors and future generations?
Well, let's be very clear about what I've talked about, Alan, because I'm talking about how to save the program. I'm not talking about cutting benefits. I'm talking about things like cutting overhead, administration, inefficiencies, prescription drugs.
Entirely.
Well, we need to save the program, and the difference between what I talk about in terms of cutting those kinds of costs and cutting the overhead, and my opponent, who's talking about, who's voted twice, to actually cut the program itself, to end Medicare as we know it and turn it into a system where the government will give you a certain amount of money, send you off into the healthcare marketplace, and you have to hope that you have enough money to get those
basically a voucher.
Yeah, a voucher system. And I think that's what I'm opposed to. So cutting expenses, we have to save Medicare, we have to strengthen it, but not cutting the benefits, not ending the program.
Your opponent, Brian Bilbray, points out that you were a member of the City Council during the worst financial crisis, the pension crisis, and when San Diego was being called Enron by the Sea. Why should voters have faith in you that you're going to steer the ship in a sound financial way now?
Well, Brian's only telling part of the story. And San Diego had 3 decades of bad habits with respect to pension funding, and unfortunately I did make a vote to continue those habits early in my career, but then we realized we had a problem, and we set about to fix it. We hired 2 outside experts to tell us what to do and how to fix it, what went wrong. We ended pension underfunding. We made it illegal. We made our employees pay a higher cost of their benefits. We really held the line on raises. Most of them haven't had raises in years, and that'll have to continue. And I negotiated a new pension system for new employees. It'll save about $22 million a year. At the end of our hard decade, it was the SEC that called San Diego a model for other cities to follow. And if you contrast that to Washington, they've had a lot of bad habits. They're not doing anything about it. They haven't even started. And you wouldn't call them a model for anyone to follow. So I think San Diego, we did have a tough decade. We've gone a lot further, as the SEC said, than many cities, and actually would be a good, we could teach some lessons to Washington about getting started with this hard work. We've told people bad news. We've had to make hard changes. And San Diego's learned some lessons we could teach Washington, D.C.
Let me ask you this. Right now, Congress is unable to get anything done. Partisanship is, it's total gridlock in Washington, basically. What can a freshman congressman do to ease the stalemate?
Well, we get 1 representative to Congress, and I think we can do better. My whole career has been about working across party lines to get things done, and everyone says that. But if you look at my record on things like a downtown ballpark with downtown redevelopment, cleaning up beaches and bays, a convention center expansion, completing Highway 56, that's why I have support from across the political spectrum. So I do have all the Democrats basically lined up behind me. Nathan Fletcher endorsed me last week. He's an independent. But also Republicans like Malin Burnham, 3 former Chamber of Commerce chairs. They don't agree with every political position I take, but they know I'm doing it for the right reasons because I want to help, and they know I can get things done.
36 days till voters go to the polls. Thanks so much for coming in, Scott Peters. Appreciate your time.
We can do better. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.